Hey everybody, welcome to the Healthy SBC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Sutton. I'm here today with Lisa Johnson, who's the president of the Bossier Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to talk about the chamber and just whatever else we get to today. Hey Lisa.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it. And this is actually the first time I've been in here, so I've lived in Bossier for I think 15 years now.
Well, welcome to the chamber office. This is our original building. We've been here since we were formed in 1947.
Okay.
So we've been in this location since the early 50s.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a while.
It is a while.
Now, I know the answer to this, but you haven't been here since the early 50s.
I have not. However, this June, I've been here 20 years.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, awesome. So you've been here 20 years. I mean, that's a long time to work somewhere. What has kept you here in doing this?
You know, Jeremy, it's the love for my community. So I spent, I know we're here about the chamber, but I spent 20 plus years in the tourism hospitality industry, marketing and promoting Bossier and Shreveport, Caddo and Bossier parishes as a tourism destination. I'm a native of the area, born and raised in Bossier, and graduated from Bossier High School, LSUS. And so one day someone called and said, hey, there's a position open at the Bossier Chamber. And I was like, what's that? And they were like, we think you'd be great because you're from Bossier and you know folks. And I'm like, but yeah, what do they do? And the next thing I know, here I am 20 years later, and I know exactly what we do.
Well, that's good, because that's what I want to know is what you do. And that's what I want to share with the audience today. So, you know, I like to try to do a little research on people before I come. And I didn't like Facebook stalk you or anything like that, but I did look at your website. And so I just wanted to talk about kind of the what you do section, and we can just start out with the advocacy, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the Chamber of Commerce, you know, before we get into advocacy, is an organization that we're a membership organization. We're nonprofit, so we're not funded by tax dollars. We're funded by sponsorships and memberships. And so just like anybody would go and join a gym, or they would contact you for some physical therapy, you know, so, and what people get out of it is what they put into it.
Absolutely.
And again, kind of the same thing. What they're going to do for healing is whether or not they follow through on what you tell them to do, right?
That's right.
So, so we have businesses that are members of the chamber, and advocacy is public policy. So that's regulations, laws, and it's all pro-business. And really, we pride ourselves on being a leader in Northwest Louisiana for advocacy for our businesses. We're very in tune to what's happening at the local level, be it at the city council or the police jury, or if it's at the school board level, because all of these quality of life issues are very important. But we need to make sure that what is being passed is pro-business. So then we move to the state level as well. And so we go down to Baton Rouge during legislative session. I usually have my computer on, watching committee meetings, texting our legislators in Baton Rouge. And we also go to Washington, D.C. at a congressional level at least 3 times a year to meet with our congressional delegation and agencies up at the federal level, the Pentagon, because we have our number one priority at the federal level is Barksdale Air Force Base.
Right.
Maintaining and sustaining what's happening at Barksdale, and making sure that we're helping to maintain those missions and take care of those missions there. And at a state level, our number one priority happens to be LSU Health Science Center, which is located in Shreveport.
Right.
But Jeremy, 38% of our members at the Bossier Chamber are located in Shreveport. So we truly service Bossier and Shreveport. So building a relationship at an advocacy level with those elected officials on both sides of the river and in our rural communities is very important, because we have businesses that are everywhere. And our folks that are servicing these businesses or that are business owners, they live, work, and they play on both sides of the rivers.
Sure.
So I'm a real big proponent that the Red River doesn't divide us. It joins us, and we have to work together.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's what, the mission with Healthy SBC is, I live in Benton now, but I've been in Bossier for the last 14 years, and I said, no, I want something that encompasses the whole community.
Absolutely.
Because that's what it is, because I didn't grow up in Shreveport or Bossier, and I have patients on both sides. I have patients in Blanchard all over.
That's right.
And I love my people, and so why should we divide anything?
That's right. And it's the same thing here. And, and learning what you do specifically, and going and doing home health, and I'm going to call it business health, since I just learned that you'll come to businesses as well. I mean, a healthy community is good for business.
Yes.
And I don't think, the things that you're offering is what our business community understands. And so part of being the chamber is finding the time. We have over 800 members, and finding the time to meet with all 800 members one-on-one to really understand what you do is sometimes a little difficult. But on the flip side, it's the responsibility of those members to make sure that you stay top of mind with us, because we're still human.
Yeah.
And we're still all overwhelmed, and we're all trying to do the best that we do. And so when it comes at the advocacy level, we're just trying to make sure that those rules, regulations, laws, policy makers are keeping top of mind pro-business, so that you and everybody else can stay in business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just touched on something that I could talk about forever, which is business and marketing, because there was like a 5-year period where I read every book that I could read on that. But if somebody told me last week, I was in a group talking to them about physical therapy and me doing in-home and all that stuff, and they said, now look, we've had people come in before and they never came to meetings, they never reached out to us, they never did anything. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to be that person. Like, you're going to get sick of seeing me. Because if we don't beat our own drum, so to say, then nobody else does.
Well, who's your best marketer? Yourself.
Yeah.
Who knows better than what your business does? Yourself. That's For right. You or any of your listeners out there, be it that they're a home-based business, or that they are a virtual business, or that they are brick and mortar and they have a storefront, it's still their responsibility to get their message out. Because I don't know what I don't know.
Yes.
So beat down our door. I mean, email us, call us, and we'll do our absolute best to share the message.
Well, that's what you're here for.
That is exactly what we're here for.
I love that. That's amazing. Oh, my goodness. So talk about business and workforce development. I feel like we could probably just talk about advocacy for the rest, but let's not. Business and workforce development, what do you do there?
So business and workforce development is, everybody's definition of workforce development is a little bit different. But for us here at the Chamber, we're talking about talent recruitment. We're talking about being able to hire the right person at any level. And also we're talking about connecting our businesses that are looking for that right talent with our education systems. And I say systems because I'm not talking just higher education. I'm also talking high schoolers, so K through 12. So on both sides of the river, so for Bossier at a K through 12, we have BIPSTL, which is our career and technology center.
Wonderful.
Yes, it is fabulous. And then you have career technology on the Shreveport side in the Kairos system. I promote both, but try to stay in my lane for Bossier schools because I have a sister chamber that does Kairos schools. But, we now have high school students that are exiting and graduating from high school with certifications. 2-year certifications in whatever industry they're getting that in, be it in marketing, graphics design, machinist, carpentry. We even have at BIPSTL where we are teaching law, and so they have their own courtroom there so that they can learn the judiciary system, and they have culinary and and many other things. But they also, with these 2-year industry certifications, they walk out if they need it with OSHA and all of those safety certifications so that they can walk right into a job. And then because students today are so completely different that they want to graduate high school, and they do, and they want to go straight into a job, but sometimes it does require more technical training at our technical college. or maybe it's easy to go to a 2-year college, and 4-year college is not absolutely for everyone.
Sure.
So we're now having all of those offerings. So with workforce development in the chamber, we're the connectivity. So I like to say that we're the conduit and we're a connector of making sure that business and our education systems at a higher education level and at our high school level have those connections and are building those relationships. Because Jeremy, we have a brain drain. Did you know?
Yes, I do.
So, I mean, everything is positive, but when you think about what is it that is one of our biggest challenges is that our students are young, smart, capable people are leaving the state.
Yeah.
And they're leaving our area and they think there are no jobs available, and they are. Sometimes maybe our expectations of what we want in a job
Sure.
are much higher. And at 18, 19, 20 years old, sometimes we need to be reminded that we need to start at an entry level, and you can work your way up very quickly if you're willing to take that risk and take that job and prove yourself to that company and work your way up. So business and workforce, that is what we're talking about here at the Bossier Chamber. And we're also working with LED, Louisiana Economic Development, and Fast Start, the Louisiana Workforce Commission, and what have you. When we're working with our businesses on that side of it, how do we help them with that talent recruitment, be it if it's for people that are relocating into the area and what have you. So it's as broad as you want it to be, and it's as narrow as you want it to be. But at the chamber, we try to stay on the broad side of it because there's many components, and we don't profess to be an expert in any of these areas that I'm talking
Sure.
about. We profess to be knowledgeable, and we know where the experts are so that we can put you in contact with the right person.
Sure, and isn't that what life's about anyway?
It is.
I don't know about my brain if I need surgery, but I know there's a brain surgeon in Shreveport
That's
that I
right.
can go see. I love that because, when I was in physical therapy school, one of the things that would frustrate me personally and a lot of us is they would say, well, you need to memorize these different studies, and I'll say, well, we have the book right here. I can just open to page 5 and it can tell me. And they say, yeah, but we really want you to know. And so, but life really sometimes doesn't work like that. We just need to know the expert and where people are. And I love Bipstill. I've been out there before and spoke to the first aid class several years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, I remember when that was built. It's such a beautiful place. And I know they have like a mechanic shop out there, and it's just awesome.
It is. My niece received her CNA certification out there, I think is what it was, but it was in the medical field. And now she's getting ready to graduate from nursing tech school, and she's going to go be a cardiac tech.
That's awesome.
And her dream all started in high school right there at Bipstill.
Yeah, my daughter wants to be a vet. Now she's 11, and I said, that may change 53 times before and she's like, no, it's not changing. But the great thing is about the education system is she can graduate with so many credits already, whereas I went to Louisiana Tech as a true freshman. I went in with nothing. She could go in as a sophomore or sometimes even more.
That's right. Yeah, the dual enrollment that is offered in our school systems in Bossier Public Schools is just phenomenal. My youngest son is in his upper mid-20s, and he graduated high school and went to college, and within 1 year had 2 associate degrees.
That's a love. Oh, I love that.
All because of what he was able to do
Yeah.
in the public school system.
Right.
So the power of public schools. So anyway, workforce development.
There you go.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot. Talk
Yes.
about the community sustainability.
Well, we've been talking about that. But we put in a little extra focus on that. Community sustainability is something that we started focusing on real heavily. We've been doing it for a long time, but even more so in the last probably 4 to 5 years. So about 10 years ago, I started in a program up in Arkansas that's called the Community Development Institute, and it's under UCA, the University of Central Arkansas. And I learned what community development really is. And again, depending upon the different sectors you're in, it has a different meaning. But for us, community development is everything that really just a regular civilian would think of as community development. What does it mean to build a community? Infrastructure, roads, water and sewage, neighborhood layouts. Where would you put master plans? Where would you put businesses? Permitting, your schools, education, crime, safety, faith-based community, parks and recreation. And I went through a 3-year program and then did an advanced year. And then I asked one of my staff members to go through this as well and told her, I said, okay, I'm too old to get my certification. For those, our friends out there listening to us, you're never too old to get your certification, so we'll say that I was lazy, okay? I'll admit it. But she got her certification, and we now host Community Development Institute in Louisiana, right here in Bossier City with our partners at Louisiana Tech. We do it at the Louisiana Tech Academic Center, again, in partnership, too, with LED. And so we are teaching local residents how to think like a community developer, because when we all make decisions about our business placement and hire or try to encourage people to move here, it's about quality of life issues, is it not?
No, it's 100%.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and if we're having this exodus from Louisiana and Northwest Louisiana, and we want people to stay, well, what's going to make them stay? Yes, a job. And we have the jobs, but if they're not prideful in their community that they live in and say, this is a great place to live, and we have all of these great quality of life issues that venues that we can go to. We have great restaurants, we have great evening entertainment, we have great places for our kids to go to, we have lots of parks and recreation. Now, I welcome new airmen to the base every other week, about 100. That's called a Right Start. And I share with them our outdoors guide. And I said, are you into hiking and biking and all of that? I said, now, I know you come from all over the U.S. Now, I don't have mountains, but I do have some great hiking trails.
Right.
You know, but those of us that are local, live here, those are the things we take for granted. Sure. So when we start encouraging our people that live here to think of our area as a visitor, if I was here visiting, where would I go? You're going to find all of these hidden secrets that have been here forever. And that's quality of life. Yeah. And so that's community sustainability. And when we bring in more people and they live here and they work here and they do support the tax base, because that's what does the foundation, your roads, your sewage, and your water, because you have to have that to survive, right? Yeah. You know, nobody likes to pay taxes, but that's what taxes pay for.
Like to drink water.
Yeah, you like to drink good, clean water.
Yeah.
That's right. You want to drive on a road that doesn't have a pothole. Yes. Well, there's challenges there, but we're working on it hot and heavy every day with our officials. But those are the things that people want to do to stay here. So I always like to encourage people, Jeremy, to think about and drive through your community as though you're a visitor and looking at it for the first time. If there was something that I could do to make a difference, to make it look more beautiful for the first time, what's my first impression? What could I do? Is it help pick up trash? Is it help maybe not throw the trash? Right. Because that's an individual thing. So that's what community sustainability and community development is all about. And it really is moving up our priority list here at the Bossier Chamber. And we now also host the State of Community Report. So when you take all of those quality of life issues and you put that big bucket there, then we also do a State of Community Report, and we're looking at our economy. What are the assets that we have in our community that are very good that we could do better at? And so we've picked out 4, and it's healthcare is a major industry, defense, obviously, with Barksdale Air Force Base and the defense contractors and the cyber that we have here, and that's in this area, transportation, because all roads, railroads, and the river do lead to Shreveport Bossier.
Right.
And we do have a regional airport, but we are placed right in the center of these major hubs.
Sure.
And people have to remember that airlines are a business too, and they make business decisions. So we do have to do a pedal jump to Dallas to get to that hub or to Charlotte. But at least we have an airport.
Yeah.
Right. So to do that. So I'm getting my mind off track here. So let's see. Defense, healthcare, transportation. Oh, hello, energy.
Yes.
Energy is the other pillar. So the Haynesville Shell, natural gas, and in the oil and gas industry. And, we are a natural gas and oil and gas state.
Sure.
Always have been. But these finds, these shells that we're finding here, and the technology and that can go into all of that. So what are we doing as a community to capitalize on those assets? So we've really been focusing on that on the last 3 years, and have been doing data collecting for the last 3 years to show where do we sit, what is our baseline for those economic drivers and those numbers, what is our growth rate, where can we grow, what is our goal, and then we can start now doing some measurements and have some accountability for that. And this is not just for Bossier. This is Northwest Louisiana. So the Bossier Chamber, our name may be Bossier, but we are Northwest Louisiana. And we are really trying to work and partner with everybody to help our area grow.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. It's talk about the community, driving through and seeing it for the first time.
Yes.
I think about, Northport Sports just opened up over where the old Trinity Heights School was, and they just started doing pickleball this week, and it's a beautiful facility, and the new golf complex that we're going to be getting.
Jason Aces.
Yeah,
yes.
It's just like those are things that weren't here that are coming, and the area is growing, and it is. It's growing for young families. It's growing for senior adults. We have the Blake now that's out there that's amazing for seniors. And we just have many great things.
I guess you see that too. The rate of our senior population, how it's in your field, and how it's expanding, and and whenever we work with go to city council meetings and we look at that, you're absolutely right. Those assisted living facilities, especially into the north of Bossier, and we have quite a few in South Bossier as well, it's all growing because we have that growing population.
That's right.
And and so for our young people that are listening to your podcast, I'm encouraging you to call your friends, tell them to come home, because if everybody leaves and our elderly population goes on to their next destination, who's left here to build this area that you grew up in?
Yeah.
Have faith in us. Have faith in the community that helped to raise you, and stay here and help build it up for your children and your grandchildren.
Yeah, I agree. I told you I grew up around Arcadia. My wife went to Parkway. She's from South Bossier, and so we've decided this is where we're going to grow. And it's funny because when I moved over here from Ruston, I didn't want to be here.
Right.
But now I've lived here for 14 years, and everybody, I still have friends, obviously, but we've grown up. Our kids have grown up with other kids, and young families we've grown with, and so I don't ever want to go anywhere else.
Right.
And I have a cousin that lives in East Texas, and they have a bunch of land. He's like, move out here, we'll have like a family compound, which isn't a whole nother problem. But I don't want to move anywhere. I want to see Shreveport Bossier grow.
Yes. And
be happy, and I want to see, the stigma that goes with some of the stuff in Shreveport go away, and just everything grow up and be better.
What's good for Bossier is good for Shreveport,
right.
And what is good for Shreveport is good for Bossier.
Yes.
Because I am not ever going to tell families where they have to live.
Right.
Some families, especially as these industries move in, and we do see families relocating and moving here, be it if it's in the medical industry, if it's in the IT industry, if it's in our military families or what have you, if they come from another community and they lived in a historical district, I'm going to tell them about the beautiful historical districts that we have in our sister city in Shreveport.
Absolutely.
And if they want to live in a place that has a vibrant Main Street program where everybody knows everybody, They may want to live in Minden and they work in Bossier. But if you want to live in a place where everything seems to be new and starting from the ground up and everything, that's in Bossier. But we each offer something unique
100%.
for our cities that complement one another. So let's complement one another and encourage people to live in Northwest Louisiana and to help build our tax base here. Now, of course, I'm here to welcome you with open arms in Bossier, always and forever. But I'm also going to support you in whatever decision that you make, because we're here in this together.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that mindset of just being together and serving, because that's really, I think we're all put here to serve each other.
We are.
And you can't do that if you're saying, oh, you live over here. You can't live in Central Bossier. You got to live in North Bossier. You got to live in South Bossier. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. How does membership in the chamber benefit businesses?
So membership in the chamber, I kind of hit on that a little bit. We offer a lot of membership benefits for someone that joins the chamber. Obviously, the main thing is to be here for you. We're good listeners. We're not going to tell you what you need to do. The advocacy is a big thing because 80% of our members are small businesses. And a small business is taking care of their business.
Yes.
They don't have time to come to networking events.
Right.
They don't have time to worry about when the labor laws change or when taxes are due, or if business is starting to slow down a little bit. Who in the world am I going to call for marketing and what have you? They're going to say, I need some help. Well, that's what we're here for. We are going to connect you to the people that can help you, and we're going to be that voice for you. But we are, too, by being a member of the chamber, you're going to meet other members that are a part of the chamber. And so we encourage business to business development, so that you're doing business with local business, keeping those dollars home and in this area. We have networking events throughout the year where you can come. They're after hours, they're 5 to 7. And so on your way home, stop in, exchange business cards, shake hands, and say, hey, this is what I do. This is who I am. If you ever need something, we have our volunteer organization, our diplomats, and they go out and they do ribbon cuttings and opening up new businesses. They do anniversary calls. As a new member of the chamber, if you get you get a ribbon cutting, we have a billboard program that we offer. And that your business goes up on the billboard announcing your ribbon cutting before and after to help give you some of that exposure. If you are doing something that is community oriented, or you have a grand opening or a re-grand opening or big anniversary, we'll help you with your press releases, and we send those out for you. So whenever we send out media releases, the media actually picks up our members' business a lot quicker than they pick up chamber news, what the chamber itself is doing. So they're looking for that. So we, there's a lot of benefits to being a member of the chamber. We want to talk to you. We want to hear who's your market, because when you join the Bossier Chamber, we want it to be a return on investment for you. 20 years ago, it was your civic duty to be a member of the chamber. It's not your civic duty anymore.
Right.
And we're not blind to that. We know that if you put up $335 a year, which is all it is for a small membership, that you want to see something out of it. So we do weekly newsletters to keep you up to date. We survey our members. We ask them, do we talk to you too much in our newsletters and what have you? And they're telling us no, because at least I know what's going on. And then I can choose when to go and participate.
Right.
And that's all that we ask, because if you have more knowledge, then you can do your business better. And if you know that we're here so that you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm having an issue. Who do I need to call? Who can help me with this? That's what we do. We're a connection agency. And we have a board of directors that service our membership. There's 21, so I have 21 bosses that I work for. Yes. And they come from all walks of life, representative of all industries, genders, racial backgrounds, very diverse, and Bossier City and Bossier Parish is a very diverse community. And sometimes a lot of people don't think about that. And I think that when people start really driving around and looking with their eyes wide open about, I'm a visitor, they're going to see our diversity in this community, and that we are very much a blended community. We work very closely with the Hispanic market and the Latino market. For a good gee whiz for your listeners, if folks do not know, we have the fastest growing Hispanic market in North Louisiana.
Wow.
In Bossier Parish.
Okay.
And that has been since the 2010 census that we have seen that significantly. So how do we bring these cultures together to work together and to live together? And then we've learned too that within each culture there's cultural diversity within each culture. So we're learning all of that, and that all comes to community sustainability, because we're still all God's people.
Yes.
We are.
Yeah.
And we all bleed red.
Yeah.
And we all spend green money.
That's right.
Okay? So how do we learn to live together and to support one another and to lift each other up? And, that's a personal passion of mine. And with growth comes other challenges. And so we are very much a growing community, and we see that in our membership base and through the benefits that we offer and through all of these other pillars that we talked about: workforce development, advocacy, community sustainability. And with growth comes maybe an increase of having to talk about safety,
right,
and having the need to talk about poverty, and those that need maybe a little bit more help. And so all of that comes into the play of community sustainability as well, and the things that we do talk about around here. We don't hold a blind eye to all of it. We don't wear rose-colored glasses. We know that there are challenges out there, but there's also great opportunity, and we have to talk to one another.
Absolutely. There's so much opportunity. I think
there is.
People get so blindsided by, I can't do this because there's 5 other businesses in town that do this or something. And I had somebody tell me one time, he said, well, if you want to sell red books, if somebody else is selling red books and making money, that's good for you to sell red books because they're in need. So I love that.
Yeah, I told somebody the other day, I said, there's enough sand in the sandbox for each of us to build a castle.
Absolutely.
I mean, just get in and play, and let's build it, and then support one another.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where this. I really hate the word scarcity and what's the other one that we talk about? The open mindset or whatever. I don't. Mm-hmm. I think we all kind of use those words too much, but we really don't need to have a scarcity mindset. Even though I don't like the word, because there's plenty. There's plenty of business. There's plenty of people. There's plenty of whatever. There is. The abundance.
Abundance. Yeah, that's the word you're looking for. Yeah, the population, we are seeing a population still continuing to see, even though inflation is up, COVID changed a lot of things, a lot of mindset, a lot of ways things. Business is done, supply and demand, supplies are still short. We're paying attention to all of that, but we still are seeing population growth in Bossier Parish. Bossier City is remaining pretty level, and with I think the last time I looked, it was like about a 1% growth. But we're still seeing growth. It's
still growing.
We are still growing, and so when folks want to say we're not growing, it's not true. When you say you're not growing, then you're talking about a 10% decrease or a 15% decrease. But when it's a 3%, give or take, that's remaining status, and so at least we're doing that. And if we're holding the line until we see some the economy get a little bit better and stronger, and national politics kind of settle down and get stronger and what have you, we're going to have to ride this stability wave, and we will continue. We'll see that growth, that high growth pattern, and that's what we're used to, because in Bossier City and Bossier Parish, we've seen a very high growth pattern for a very long time. And then we've become at that solid line again, and we're going to see that high growth pattern again. But we have to stay consistent. Sure. But if we badmouth ourselves and we talk negative about it, who wants to come into a place that talks negative? Yeah. So let's not do that.
Yeah. There's a guy that I listen to, not Robert Quick, but his last name's Quick, and he says, we have ants, automatic negative thoughts. And he said, what do you do to ants? You squish them. And
that's right.
So when you have those negative thoughts, you have to squish them. You know, my papa, who's been gone a few years, he lived in Ruston. They moved from Jonesboro to Ruston. And he told me one time, he said, Ruston's dying. And I said, Papa, one of my friends just sold 60 acres that they're turning into subdivisions. They're building an academy. They're building a Lowe's. You know, this was years ago.
That's right.
I was like, Ruston's not dying. It may be dying the 3 miles a day you ride, but it's not dying. The same thing with Bossier.
That's right.
We're growing, and we continue to.
Yes. Yes. We're seeing a lot of growth in our communities in Northwest Louisiana.
I was just looking at, preparing for this podcast, looking at the Chamber's website, and there's so many ribbon cuttings this week. I think there's one tomorrow, one next day. I mean, there's just ribbon cuttings.
Yes, so
all these businesses that are opening.
Right. So, and tomorrow, I mean, it is business, but it's actually it's a support of the community. We've got a big ribbon cutting tomorrow for the Bossier Parish Library.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that for the central office? They just built a new complex.
It's beautiful.
And it is. It's absolutely beautiful. And you know, that's one of those quality of life pieces is your library system, and it's supported fully by taxes, if people did not know that, and 100%. And, you know, and all of our students in our public school system use the library system. And when I talk to folks and they were like, hey, we're having the ribbon cutting at the library, and they go, who uses the library?
Everybody.
And it's like, well, if you haven't in a while, I encourage you to go look and see, because you can now, where we're buying subscriptions for audiobooks and all of that, you can go check out an audiobook
I use
for
Hoopla
free with a card.
Yeah.
Yes.
The library has an app called Hoopla.
Yes.
And I've been using it for years. I listened to 74 books last year for free.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to pay $15 a book to listen to it on Audible. I want to use the library.
That's
that
right.
My tax dollars pay for.
That
that I pay for.
That's right.
So I'm still paying for it.
Yes.
But I get to use it.
That's right.
My kids, the libraries in Bossier Parish are phenomenal. I mean, we're now up in Benton, but we always came to the Central, and then we would go to the one in Halton because we lived in Stockwell Place, and so they're phenomenal. My kids love going to the library. So.
Well, the busiest library that we have in Bossier Parish is the one in Benton. Maybe it's because of you.
It probably is, because I started a strengthening class there about a month ago. It may be
did you? Okay. Well, it is. No. Well, that's what I've been told. It is the absolute busiest.
I'm not bragging, but I can sweet talk 80-year-olds, okay?
All right. I love it.
So we're going to talk about the SBC Spotlight. So just tell us, where you're located, how do people contact you, and we know you serve businesses, but go ahead.
Yes. So we are located right here in front of the municipal complex at 710 Benton Road. So the bridge that goes over the railroad tracks on Benton. I tell people, don't go over the bridge, stay on the low road, and you'll pass right by us. We're directly across the street from Optimum. And what else were you asking? Our contact us at info@bossierchamber.com. Our website is bossierchamber.com, and you'll see all of our staff members there with all of our individual email addresses, or you can contact us via the phone 318-746-0252, and we service businesses of all sizes and individuals. We do have some individuals that are members as well that support our business community and want to be involved in knowing what's happening in the business community and serving our community. So it's on our homepage. It says, join us in our mission.
Yes, I love that. Now, one more thing. It's Bossier Parish, right? Any business in Bossier Parish?
Yes, we are the Bossier Parish Chamber of Commerce, and so we service the town of Halton, the city of Bossier, the town of Benton, and the town of Plain Dealing.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, it's time for your megaphone minute. Lisa, you can talk about whatever you want for 1 minute. soapbox, grandkids, Bossier, I don't care. Go ahead. Whatever's important to you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. And I just, I told you that this is my home. And I've been here all of my life, born and raised, Waller, Russian, Bossier High School. And I absolutely love what I do. I love coming in contact, Jeremy, with folks like you that have chosen to stay here and to invest in our community. So thank you for your business. Thank you for your love of our community, and that you do home health. And I am so excited, business community that's listening to this. He will do calls at your office.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is so super cool. But yeah, I have 2 grown boys, 5 wonderful grandbabies, and life is fabulous. And Sunday school teacher on the weekends at the Simple Church, teach second graders. And
who are you more excited to see, your kids or your grandkids? Be honest.
Okay, so for those that are for my children, my 2 boys, muted. Anybody that knows I'm muted. Of course, I'm excited to see my grandkids.
Okay, good.
Got 3 girls and 2 boys, but I do love seeing my boys. Mama's love for their boy, there's nothing like it.
I believe it. I just wanted to see if you'd be honest one last time.
I am quite. Sometimes I'm honest to a fault.
I promise. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it.